Alrighty, alrighty. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday. For some reason, I can't see chat, which kind of sucks. So I'm trying to figure out how to fix that, but maybe I just gotta do a little something like that. Actually, that works. That totally works. Okay, welcome. So, as you can see, I've gotten a lot done since the last time I was live, which was last week. We did a lot of punching on here. So we've done this entire house, we've done this chimney, we've done this tree, we've done this tall building, which I don't think I did live. So yeah, we've done a lot. And now we're gonna do more. The goal is to finish as much of this section as we can. As much of our stretched out section on our monk's cloth here before we move it and do the other side. So our goal is to just fill in as much of this as possible. So let's continue. Maybe before I do anything, I should probably figure out how to add chat to OBS. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me figure out how to do this. There we go. We have got it. So what I want to do first is continue on this section that I had here, this kind of dome section, and then we can move on to, I'm thinking, this flag, and then we can do the rest of this. So let's continue with this roof. Should I move this a little bit? I think that's fine. As you can see, I kind of already got started on it a little bit, but then I took it out because I was like, I don't have time to finish this completely, and I don't want to store my frame away with the yarn and everything. So I was like, let's just pull out our stitches and do this again another time. Hold on, you'll have to excuse me for just 2 seconds. My chat is being really wonky right now, so let me just fix that and I'll be right back. And while I'm doing that, you can watch this really cute animation. So let me pause this. Okay, we're back. Things are back to normal. Sometimes the biggest hurdle of live streaming is the tech issues, trying to figure out things with OBS and whatever, but hey, we got it solved. We can continue. So, you might have remembered last week that I talked about the big project that I'm working on and sharing some updates, or, well, I should say one update, in that I need permission to, I guess, put whatever I was doing out publicly. I still haven't gotten a response back from this higher body, so I'm still waiting. Once that's out, once I get some more information from them, I'll be able to kind of move forward. So, still in a limbo on that, but that's no biggie. So, let me just get some more yarn out, and I'm just punching back and forth here. This is an Oxford 10 fine punch needle, and I'm punching using some Briggs& and Little Heritage, which is 100% wool and it's worsted weight. As you can see, I'm trying to get better at my left-handed punching because I don't want to make a habit out of rotating my frame around a whole bunch. It's fine when your frame is like small, but when you're working on an 18 by 18 like this one, or when you're working on something bigger like a 20 by 30, or just some other sort of frame like that, rotating it every time is such a pain in the butt. Like, you don't want to do that. So it helps to be able to know how to punch with both hands. And the younger you learn, the younger you can the younger you can kind of absorb it. So this has been a really interesting week for punch needle news. One item that I have is a public item, and then another one is just something that I saw personally and that I wanted to comment on while I'm live, even though I also already commented on the original person's video. So there's a like fiber art YouTuber. I think I believe her name is Laura Grace. I believe she does like knitting and crochet stuff, and she made a video um where she tried out punch needle for the first time, and the title is so funny. It's like, "I finally tried punch needle and I hated it," and I was like, "Ooh, clickbait title sounds perfect for me. I wanna watch this." So, it's like a 19-minute video. I watched it all, um, and you know what? Everything she had to say was absolutely fair, and it was absolutely fair because she was using this very, very cheap, um punch needle kit, like something that was the equivalent of like buying a punch needle kit from Walmart or Michael's or some other like big box store. And she was like, I hate this. I'm not having a good time. This is no fun. And I was like, girl, you need to try out some real punch needle kits. We need to get her on some like Oxford punch needle kits and everything because I feel like she would have a way better time with just the right tools and materials and supplies. Um, than like a big box store kit. She was very gracious about it all, um, especially because I know how frustrating those kits can be. So I was like, she's being very nice about this. Um, but yeah, I thought the video was interesting. I always find it fun when other fiber artists try punch needle for the first time because it's either like they hate it or they're like, yeah, I'm obsessed. Like I'm this might be like a controversial hot take, but I do think that punch needle isn't the sort of craft that I consider it more of like a specialty craft in that you're not going to find like the best tools and things from like a big box store. It's something that you want to like go to a specialty store or specialty company for. Just because the big box stores don't know what they're doing. They literally have no idea what they're doing. Like no research has gone into like what the right tools are, what the right materials are for these companies, and it's frustrating. Like you wouldn't think of it this way. Like you wouldn't go to like Walmart to find lace making tools. Like it would be ridiculous to go to a Walmart to find stuff like that or like any other big box craft store or retailer. You would go to like a specialty store. You would go to like you would go to like a specialty fiber arts store or a store like or a small business for someone who's specialized in that craft. And I feel like punch needle is the same, falls under the same category. Especially if you're trying to learn the craft to make practical items like rugs and whatnot, rather than kind of just decorative things. But anyways, the second piece of exciting punch needle news, something that's more public, is that International Punch Needle Rug Cooking Day is coming soon. It's early March. Um, I don't remember the exact date. I think it's like March 6th or something. And this year's commemorative pattern is out. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's really nice. It was made by Oxford punch needle instructor, or I should say fellow Oxford punch needle instructor, Cody Gallagher, and the pattern is called Connections, and the pattern is so cool. Like I've known about Cody's work for years now, like her punch needle work, and like I just love what she does. And so I was excited to hear that she was going to be the ambassador for this year's International Punch Needle Rug Cooking Day. And yeah, her pattern is really, really cool. You should definitely go check it out because it is free. And I'll probably be making a video about the pattern and International Punch Needle Rug Cooking Day and just punching the pattern and giving my take on it. But yeah. Oh, another important thing about International Punch Needle Rug Cooking Day is aside from the commemorative pattern, there is like there's an event called the International Punch Needle Rug Cooking Day Extravaganza. Yes, it's a mouthful, but we haven't thought of a better name. Um, but it's like an online event where you get to go and you get to punch along with the pattern live. Um, you get to troubleshoot and kind of learn more about the craft from like a lot of people who are actually like experts or like people who are very experienced in the craft. It's a lot of fun. Last year, I did attend kind of as a surprise because I didn't tell anyone that I was going. I kind of just showed up in the Zoom call and I shared some of my work. Um, but yeah, you there will be other Oxford instructors there. I don't know if I'll be there this year. I'll have to see. Um, but yeah, you get to see how other Oxford certified instructors punch the pattern. Um, and there are giveaways. There's going to be like, I think it's like a $200 gift card for the Oxford company and just a bunch of other yarn and punch needle giveaways. So if I were you, I would not miss out on something like that. Um, okay, you know what? I might have to rotate here just because I don't want to have to extend my arm too much. So I'm gonna do that and maybe I can, okay, that works. That works excellently. Sometimes rotating is needed. Um, okay, there we go. See, I have a lot of these like little tiny amounts of yarn left over, so this project is really good because I get to use up all of them. Okay. Wonderful. So we'll snip off this yarn end. And what I'm going to do is just fill in this little flag section. And I said this last week during my stream, but this mini rug is inspired by an art piece from the Met Museum. It's this 200-year-old beaded bag. And I've included the link for the original work in the description of this video, or in the description of the stream, so you can go check it out. For the most part, I'm attempting to stay faithful to the original work, but I am making a few changes here and there, which I'm sure you're noticing as I'm punching along here. So, next up, what I would like to do is we're going to fill this little section in, and then we're going to fill in, actually we'll fill in the window, and then we'll do everything else. So let me grab some yarn for this. This is fine. This works. So, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm always punching the highlights of these windows in stem stitch, which is basically straight stitching like normal, but instead of keeping your needle facing you, you're turning it 90 degrees to the left. Or I should say, instead of facing in the direction you're punching, you're turning it 90 degrees to the left. There is a video on my channel where I go over like foundational stitches like these, like this one, so you can go check that out if you want. There we go. And we shall fill in the rest of this with black. So we have our black yarn here, and I'll just start, maybe this is a good spot. Wonderful. Look at that. Alrighty, alrighty. And folks, I'm using basically the same punch needles throughout this piece, just the Oxford 10 regular and the 10 fine. The only difference between the two of these is their needle width. So they punch the exact same loop height, but one of them takes like thicker yarn and the other uses thinner yarn. That's the only difference. Oh, there we go. We'll snip off our yarn and push it through to the other side. All right, that looks pretty good. So what I want to do now is do this building. And in the original work, this building is blue. This part right here is kind of the shadow, and it's a darker blue. And this part is um, the lighter part, and it's a lighter blue. But I want to avoid using like blues, except for, I don't know if you can see this one, because I want to make the sky blue, but I want to make it like a warmer blue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change things up a little. I'm gonna, instead of having this be blue, I'll make it orange. I don't know how that'll look, but we'll see. Or maybe purple. We'll see. Let me grab some colors. Um, Actually, yeah, maybe I'll do purple. Because I do have some purple yarn that I can use. I'll just have to find it. Purple, 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 where are you? Actually, this works, and then I'll use, where are you? Where are you? Darker purple. Or maybe I don't have darker purple left over. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, maybe I don't. Okay. No biggie. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a combination of these two yarns for the shadows, and then I'll use this one as like a lighter highlight. I don't know how that'll work, but we shall see. So let me undo this. Actually, I might have enough of this yarn to just fill in this entire shadow section completely, which would be good. So I might do that. So I'm going to thread this through my Oxford 10 regular. And I'll start punching here. I think that's fine. go. So we'll fill this in. Um, there we go. Okay, that worked out. We still have a little bit of this yarn left. Next time we need to use like a darker purple, maybe we'll just alternate these two. I think that'll work. So let me poke these ends in. And what I'll do is I will do a very rare rotation again. And maybe I'll move this like so. There we go. And I shall start punching the rest of this building here. So we'll start right here and start punching around. The warm, cool variegation on this yarn is really nice to look at. It's subtle, but I don't know. It adds a little pizzazz to your work. And this is yarn that I actually dyed myself. A couple of these are, I think. Actually, no, the only one that I've dyed is this rainbow one. But I will be adding more of my dyed yarns into this piece as we go on. But this is another one that I hand dyed. and this one's special because I snow dyed it. Um, there's a video of this on my channel. It came out almost a year ago, but basically, it's just dumping a bunch of snow on your yarn and then sprinkling dyes or dye solution on top. And it makes a really cool effect, as you can see. Well, maybe you can't see, but you'll see when we're done this. Oh, there's a little bit of a knot here. Luckily, not one where it was a pain to detangle. Um, let's see. I feel like I punched into something there. Sometimes you gotta tilt your needle away from, your existing stitches, just so, like, you don't get something called a loop over, which is your different yarns kind of punching into each other. I mean, it's not a problem. You can always just you can always just detangle them, um, and put them back into their place with scissors or whatever, but I like to avoid I like to avoid it as much as possible, so there we go. I'm realizing I'm realizing that I'm punching in complete silence now, like, you can't even hear me unless I speak, and if I don't speak, people might think this is, like, some sort of spam video, so we're just gonna have to keep talking. We're gonna have to keep talking even if my throat hurts, so at least we've got some water with us. So let me just take a sip of that, and I'll continue yapping. Okay, we are healthy and hydrated. So let's continue. So as you can see, this building is kind of the tallest one that we're punching so far. So I have to keep moving my frame back and forth, but like, that's fine. Just like type in chat if you can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Maybe we'll be able to use up all of this yarn with this building here. Hopefully. Because the more yarn I can use up for this project, the better. But yeah, can you see that subtle variegation here? You can see it just a little bit, like this side is a little bit more cool, this side is a bit warmer. It adds a really neat effect on the loopy side. So stay tuned for when I flip this over, because I haven't flipped this project over so far to show you the loop side, because the loop side's real ugly right now. And I don't know, I feel a lot of pressure snipping and poking my loops when I'm live because I feel like everyone's judging me. So I tend to just do it offline and record it and then put it in like the video I make about whatever project I'm doing. But I've done it before. When I was doing my oval Lakeview pillow, which if you want to see that, there is a video of it on my channel. I did do a little bit of snipping and poking live. So I'm glad I was able to showcase that a little bit. And when I was doing my punch along last year, I was able to show basically like maybe I'd consider it like a skim down version, but a version nonetheless of the full punching process from, starting out to working on different parts of your project to finishing and hemming. Cool stuff. So we're going to stop there and then continue again from maybe the bottom. So let's take a look. Um, yeah, that seems like the right spot. Maybe I'll start here. The one thing that I'm so curious about is whether people who watch me are also punch needlers. Like, are you watching me because you do this craft, or are you watching me just for the vibes? I never know. Okay, so next we will do this triangle bit. Perfect. And we're gonna keep going and just fill it all in. And I'm happy to see that my spacing is actually pretty decent throughout all of this because I wasn't sure. Like, I'm not looking super closely here. So, the best way I can see my spacing is from the camera, and it's looking pretty good. So, I'm glad. Then this might be our last tail. Okay, so we are done this building here. So, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe we get started on the grassy bits here, which I haven't even like started on, and do as many of those as we can. Or we could get started on the sky. I don't know which one I should get started on first, but hello. Yeah, I made a lot of progress. I made so much Okay, here's the thing. I worked on it a lot offline last week, and yeah, that's why so much has been done. But I might I might zoom out here a little bit just so people can see. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. Didn't think of zooming out. But yeah, I've gotten a lot done. Now I'm just wondering whether to do the sky or the grass first. Right now, at this moment in time, I'm thinking grass. Yeah, I'm thinking grass. So let me grab some yarn for that, and I'll be right back. I have a bunch of yarn here that I can use up for the grass. Lots of greens. I think all of these work. And I think I have some more here. Folks, you're gonna have to give me a second while I figure out where all of my greens are. Okay, I think these work. Okay, we've got so many greens, like a ridiculous amount. Thank you. It looks so pretty. Love the colors you chose. Thank you so much. I it's it's half a choice and half just like whatever I have left over because the goal is to use up all my scraps. So, here's what I'm thinking. Let's use up like these little bits first and then we'll move on to bigger and bigger kind of amounts. Let's see. Let me take a look right now at the original art piece. Okay. I'm just going to go about this in whatever way I want. Hopefully it looks nice at the end. We'll see. Let's get started with this lightest little green scrap here. This is from my certification rug, by the way. Um, it's some of the yarn that I have left over, which is my fun fact of the day. But because it's so short, I kind of have to like wiggle it into the channel, which is kind of annoying. So let me just, oh, see, if you let go of one end, then you have to rethread the whole thing, and you gotta do the wiggling all over again. See, oh, I hate this. Let me just wiggle this up and then get it through the hole. Okay, yeah, we got it. Yay. So let's just, let's just do it. Let's just do something like, mm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do this like 9 stitch lines down like that. Maybe I'll leave a shorter tail like so and then just actually maybe I'll make like filler stitches so that the colors kind of blend in together. I think that'll look really cool. I hope. So there we go. Got a little bit there. Let's continue with this. Is this the same color? No. This one is a little bluer, but let's go right here. There we go. And we'll do this last little bit. Somewhere maybe in the middle is what I'm thinking. So let me just move this down a little bit so you can see like like um 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Um, yeah, maybe here is good. But you can't even see anything. Hold on. There. There. That looks pretty good. Next, I'll maybe add a little bit of these here and there. Oh, you can't see anything. I might have to move this down a little bit again, just so people can see. Um, that works. Then I'll add a little bit of these here and there. Just tiny little bits. So oftentimes when you're doing like kind of little highlight bits like this, you want to do them, you want to make them 6 stitches per inch if you're punching with rug yarn. I'm making them 4 stitches per inch because I kind of want them to like blend in together. Like, because I'm going to use like this screen here for the majority of the grass. And I don't know, I have an idea. We'll see how it goes. The difference in the look between the yellow house and the pink and red houses, is that just a difference in the yarns you used? Yes. This is worsted weight yarn, um, and it's like a tapestry yarn, so it's like it's spun a little differently, so the texture is different as well. While these are rug yarns, so they're super bulky, like a weight 6. Yeah, Oh, there's another small piece here. I can use that. Again, the trick of getting it in the needle. Kind of have to, like I said before, wiggle it in. There we go. So maybe we'll add something like here. Yeah, this is a good spot. There. So what I'm thinking now is let's take a look and see how this is supposed to look. Um, yeah, let's fill in the grass with our main yarn here. This is Briggs and Little super yarn. These are as well. I don't remember the exact name for this color. I think it's like fern green or something like that. It's basically the only like I think it's the only warm toned light green that they have. Like when I want like a different something that's even lighter, um, or something that's even more saturated, like I have to dye it myself. And I've heard that like for a mill like Briggs and Little, like dyeing light colors is quite difficult for them just because it's harder to get an even dye lot or an even color among like a large dye lot. So that's why they don't do a lot of light colors. Basically, their lightest colors are whites, like bleached white, washed white, and natural white. I think natural white, though, is like a good substitute for something like a pale yellow. Like if you have that in your, if you're working on a project and it asks for a pale yellow, but that's just my experience. Um, Actually, I'm pulling this out. Hold on. I think I want to start from here instead, from the left side. This happens to me all the time. Like I do something and then I realize I don't like it, and so I pull my yarn out. You just don't see it in my videos because I tend to trim all of the unnecessary stuff out of them. Oh, wait, this is wrong too. This is this is one stitch off or one hole off of where I want it. So you have to redo this as well. Um, let's maybe that was the problem. Maybe I didn't have to pull this out at all. And this part here was what was causing me trouble. Okay. I feel like I'm punching in the exact same spots, but let me take a look. No, this is different. This is better. I don't know what I did, but that's better. Actually, I still want to start from this side. There we go. It also gives me a chance to work on my left-handed punching. Okay, I'm gonna punch all the way until about here or here. Just because this is like, I'm gonna use this line as like the border line for this house here. Oh wait, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. I just realized. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna punch up till here just because this line is going to be the border line for this next house, so I don't want to punch into that. So we'll do something like this. There. And this part right here is in the original work, it's like a darker green. You can take a look at it. I put it in the description of this live stream, but yeah, this is like a darker green. So I'm gonna avoid that. I'm gonna avoid punching that until later. For now, I will just work on this. Maybe I shouldn't have cut my yarn here. I could have just continued like so, but whatever, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. There we go. And I guess we'll just be continuing with that back and forth green for the next little while. As you can see, I'm still a lot slower with my left hand compared to my right hand. Like, I think I could punch like this with my right hand, which is like even more inconvenient, but yeah, I can punch like this quicker, but it's fine. It's practice, Brenda, it's practice. Is my spacing off again? Yeah, it is. Let me fix that. I'll add a smaller stitch randomly in the middle of this, and we'll see if that works. All right. Is there a knot in my yarn? Yep, there is. Uh-oh. Now, how do I get this knot out? See? That is quite the knot. I didn't even notice that. I was like, why am I having such a difficult time punching into that specific hole? Now we know. I'm gonna see if rotating this frame would help. Just a little bit. Then there. I try not to rotate too much, but I was going way too slower with my left hand. Okay, I'm gonna rotate back. And if need be, I'll just alternate with my right hand like this. Okay, I'm gonna finish this last row here, and then I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. I'll sign off. I think there's just something with my left-handed punching technique that's wrong. Like my hand placement is off or something. Or it's just possible my left hand is weaker. Science may never know. Let me. Yeah, this is good. Okay. Push this end in, and we'll push. Hold on, you can't even see it. Let me rotate this. We'll push this end in. And yeah, so I guess I'm done for the day. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see everything I've done so far. Um, Pretty cool, right? Lots of colors, lots of fun stuff going on. And we were able to do a lot today. We were able to do this entire building with the flag and then all of this grass. So that's pretty good. Um, I'll try to be live tomorrow. If not, Wednesday. You'll see like a scheduled live on my channel so you know when I'm going live because I think people show up more that way um, when they know that I'll be going live rather than just me kind of um, going live randomly. So if you want to know when I'm live next, you'll see it on my channel. But thank you so much. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. Because all this is scrap yarn. So I was like, I wasn't too picky about the color schemes or anything. The fact that it looks good, even if we're using up all my yarn scraps, is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be live either tomorrow or Wednesday. And then after that, the next time I'll be live will probably be next Monday, I think. I know my streaming times are super weird. It's just the way things are right now until I have more of a free schedule. So, yeah, stream maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.